YouTube, I'm back with another recap of everything I've gotten in the last couple of weeks, and it's been a lot of things. My TTM roll continues. Been getting a lot of things back, and so I have a lot to show you. So let's get right into it. We'll start out with a signed baseball that I added that just came right after my last video was done. This is Chicago Cubs prospect Javier Baez. He wrote first round pick on it. This is on a game used minor league ball. Okay, so there's that. Now let's get into the cards. We'll start with the baseball cards first. We'll start out with Ron Blomberg, the first DH in American League history, and this was a $10 paid success. That's what he charges. Next up is Ed Charles, uh, infielder for the Kansas City Athletics, but also better known for being a member of the '69 New York Mets. Next up is pitcher Gene Conley of the Milwaukee Braves. There's him, signed sideways there. Gene Conley was a two-sport star. Played part of this for 6 years. He played both in the Major League Baseball and in the NBA simultaneously. Once the baseball season ended, he started basketball with the Boston Celtics. He also included a note thanking me for sending the card and signed that as well. Gene Conley charges $5 for an autograph. So anyway, let's move on. Next up is Del Crandall, catcher, San Francisco Giants. And there is that. Next up is a eBay purchase I got from Fox Series, not Fox, Topps Series 2 baseball. This is an insert in that particular set, and that is pitcher Mike Foltynewicz. It is in the picture he's playing for the Astros. He's now a member of the Atlanta Braves. Next up is two successes from outfielder Ralph Garr of the Atlanta Braves. This was the card I sent him. He charges $3 for an autograph, and he also included this card, a second card. Next up is a really good second baseman back in his day, second baseman Don Kessinger of the Chicago Cubs. Next up, pitcher Darrell Knowles of the Washington Senators. You can see this is an old school card. And Darrell Knowles is actually still in baseball today. He's in his late 70s, and he is a pitching coach down in the Florida State League, still active. Next up, another great pitcher. This was from the 1980s. This is Dennis Leonard, who was a real great number one starter for the Kansas City Royals when they were a World Series team back in the 1980s. So there's that. Played with George Brett. He also included a second card, by the way. There's that. Next up, American League Rookie of the Year 1958, Albie Pearson of the Washington Senators. Later played for the Angels. So that's what's we'd be kind of interested in him. Next up, a $5 paid success from pitcher Jim Perry, Minnesota Twins. Jim Perry is the brother of Gaylord Perry, Hall of Fame pitcher, and Jim Perry was a very good pitcher in his own right. Next up is pitcher Juan Pizarro. This is the last baseball card. This came from Puerto Rico. He lives in Puerto Rico. This was when he played for the Pirates. I believe he also played for the Milwaukee Braves as well. So there's that. Now to the football successes. We start out with Gary Beeben, quarterback, 1967 Heisman Trophy winner for UCLA. UCLA's only Heisman Trophy winner. Next up, I have several Miami Dolphins 17-0 1972 team. First one is Vern Den Herder, defensive lineman. Next up, Gary Fensick, another great Super Bowl team, the '85 Bears. And this is safety Gary Fensick. Put the Super Bowl inscription on the bottom. Another Dolphins success from 17-0 team, Manny Fernandez. Super Bowl champion coach for the Oakland Raiders. I think he won a couple Super Bowls. Tom Flores, signed in black, so it's kind of hard to see it on this dark card, but there that is. Dallas Cowboys success, offensive lineman John Giesick. John Giesick was also on the Cowboys, couple of the Cowboys Super Bowl teams in the 1990s. Another Dolphins success, Bob Kuechenberg, also put 17-0 on it, so there's that. He also included a note that also included his name on that, so there's that. Then we have quarterback Greg Landry of the Detroit Lions. Offensive guard Blaine Nye of Dallas Cowboys. Running back Tom Rathman of the San Francisco 49ers, played on a couple of their Super Bowl teams, 2 or 3 of them. Then we have linebacker John Offerdahl of the Miami Dolphins, played with the Dan Marino teams, if I'm not mistaken. Next up, Preston Pearson, played on a couple of Dallas Cowboys and maybe Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl teams, running back. Another 85 Bears success. This is Matt Suhey. He was a fullback that blocked for Walter Payton. There's that. He also included a note, but I won't show you that. This is linebacker Zach Thomas, Miami Dolphins, another great player for the Dolphins, more in the 90s. 2 successes from tight end Bob Trumpy of the Cincinnati Bengals. First one. And the second one. He sent me 2. I sent him the first card. He sent me this one. Couple of basketball successes, 3 of them. This is Louis Dampier of the Kentucky Colonels of the old ABA. Vinny Del Negro, former San Antonio Spur and former coach of the LA Clippers. James Edwards, center for the Phoenix Suns, played on a championship team, I believe, with the Detroit Pistons, at least one of them. So there's that. So 3x5 successes. Now, here is Robert Bork. This was a swap meet pickup. And so Robert Bork was turned down to be a member of the Supreme Court, was nominated but then got voted down. Next up is actor Ken Howard from The White Shadow, if you remember that show from the 70s on CBS. And he put a little note there, as you could see. Next up is actor Dan Lauria. He played the father on The Wonder Years, doing a show on Broadway. Sent me that. Actor Vincent Pastore. Vincent Pastore has been probably in every mob movie that was ever made. I joke about that, but if you know who he is, he's been in so many different mafia movie, Godfather, Goodfellas, Sopranos, been in lots of things. Next up is former Wyoming Senator Alan Simpson, and he sent me a business card, a signed business card as well, and he signed also and wrote some comments on a note. I won't read it right now, but he sent me that as well. Next up is former governor of Minnesota and wrestler Jesse the Body Ventura. Signed that. And I have a mystery. I'm not very good at writing names on the cards, and I got this back, and I have not been able to figure out who it is yet. So take a look at it. If you recognize it, you think you might know who it is, see if you can help me out. All right. A couple of photos I wanted to show you. This is Tom Courtney. Tom Courtney won the 800 meters and a 4x400 meter relays in the 1956 Melbourne Olympics. Signed that, and he signed that. I sent him a 3x5 card, and he sent me 2 photos instead. I went to a swap meet last week and picked up 3 items. The first one is a 3x5 of actor Michael Caine. The second one is from author Robert Penn Warren, who wrote All the King's Men, and was a and was a poet. He won the Nobel Prize, no, sorry, Pulitzer Prize for poetry twice, and he won the Pulitzer Prize for that book. Robert Penn Warren. Then the best one I got at the swap meet was a first day cover of former Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood Marshall was a Supreme Court justice, but he also argued, as a lawyer, he argued the Brown versus Board of Education case in 1954 that overturned the separate but equal clause in the 14th Amendment. Very important figure in American history. So anyway, that's what I got in for the last 2 weeks. A lot of stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be doing 100 sub contest soon, because I finally reached 100 subs. So I'll be telling you more about that soon. And so thanks for watching, and I look forward to talking to you next time.